Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. By the way, we're also being simulcast on YouTube. The address to go directly to that is bit.ly/DTF417. And what this is basically is just so you can see all the charts that I'm going to show you today. But I hope everybody had a very nice weekend. I know I did. And today is crazy. I mean, AMD is just moving up like you read about. Um, and, Tesla pulled back a little bit. I think it got some stabilization. I hope it did. It just, just looks like it's going to be a very interesting week. And just kind of wanted to get into the slides. So without further ado, let's do that. Market is still in the confirmed uptrend, and what's significant, of course, about that is that the market is telling us, the indexes are telling us to go, to move out of cash into the market. Now it may pull back a little bit, but right now we're in a confirmed uptrend, so it's definitely, it's definitely moving in the right direction. Oh, wait a minute, there we go. It's definitely moving in the right direction. Let's see if I can get to the next slide. There we go. A little bit of trouble there. Get to the next slide. But basically, the situation here is with the indexes, they're all up today. The Dow is up, not a whole lot, 0.331, not a whole lot. The S&P is up 0.118, and the Nasdaq, that's the one that is up 0.25. Now you would think that's not a whole lot, but it seems to be chugging right along. The real big story today, of course, is AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, and this is one of my holdings. I actually have one position in, well, it's actually in two accounts. I have two positions, but one position in two accounts, if that makes any sense. It's up an incredible 10% today, and of course it has a 99 composite rating. The question is it worth chasing at this point? And I want to see how it trades tomorrow, but boy, it's the volume is up 200% to 150, which is incredible. It's just powering higher. I mean, this Meta deal with Facebook seems to have really caught people's attention. It's going to require an awful lot of processing power, this metaverse, and this could be a huge boon. Now, I also think that obviously Nvidia is going to work in sympathy, but the deal went um, to AMD for this. So the metaverse is going to require an awful lot of processing power, and it looks as if AMD is going to get the deal. So boy, an amazing thing. Now, hopefully, I'm going to come back to this probably a little bit in the show, try to analyze the chart on this one, but I think we're a little bit extended here, but it's just one of those, it's just one of those things. It's absolutely amazing how much it's gone up and how quickly it's gone up too. So boy, you just can't, you can't underestimate it. You can't underestimate it. Here's another one that I have been buying. I bought this actually on Friday. Um, no, I'm sorry, on Thursday. It's called GitLab. It's up a tremendous. It's up $7.94 as well at 643. Now I'm getting a little bit concerned on this one. It has moved up so quickly. So I'm kind of expecting a pullback. So I may be pushing my stop loss up pretty high on this one, probably to about 128 or so, because I do think we're going to get a pullback on this one. Just based on just kind of based on where we've been with that. So with that one, I definitely think that we may get a pullback, and who knows. Just kind of want to show you the stocks that I have currently. I'm currently in CRM. It's up today, about almost quite a point, 0.88%. Robert Half's down a little bit. The QQQ, this is the Invesco QQQ Trust, down a little bit. Innovative Investment Properties up very nicely, up 2.40%, which is amazing, and on heavier volume too. This is one of the few REITs that I really like. It's currently trading at about 281, which is looking pretty good. I've been bulking up on Ford. Ford's up today almost 5%. It's pretty amazing. The thing that's interesting about Ford is that Ford is going to have a lot of these transit vehicles, these electric transit vehicles ready, and I do think it's going to be a big, big winner. We were down significantly on Tesla today. It's down 56, it's down almost 5% today to 1165. I did kind of adjust my stop loss on this. I currently have a stop loss on Tesla at about 1080. So we'll see how this one trades. My average cost of this is about 1100. So I definitely gave back some of my winnings, but I do think we're going to see this thing move higher. Basically, there was a tweet this morning. Elon tweeted out that he was going to sell 10% of his stock. So we don't know what's going to happen there, but interesting. Did pull back, but the volume is up. So there's a lot of day traders in this. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we can hold that. The key level is 1150 on this, and I think we're sort of in a trading range now, from about 1150 on up to 1200. I have been buying this. I actually bought this today, believe it or not, about 10 more shares as it pulled back. So we'll see if I'm, right or wrong on this one, but definitely like Tesla. AMD, of course, we're talking a little bit about that. It's up today significantly, and just really amazing, really powerful. GitLab, this is the kind of the successor. This is sort of the competitor to GitHub, which was bought by, of course, Microsoft, but it seems to be doing very well at 130.93, up about $7.39. Shoe Carnival down a little bit. Do you like Shoe Carnival? I mean, it's a thinly traded stock, but it seems to be hanging in there. Then I also have, of course, AMSL. This is the largest. This is the largest tech company based in Europe. It's actually based in the Netherlands. They make the chip making equipment. All the major companies buy their equipment from AMSL. That includes Intel, that includes Samsung, that includes Texas Instruments. Just about everybody buys from these companies because this company has the state-of-the-art lithography equipment. So everybody pretty much has to buy from AMSL. TSM is a customer, the whole 9 yards. I'm also in FANG, which is Diamondback. It's up today about 1.63%, down a little bit in volume. And then here's one I did buy today, just out of the gate, and that was the Trade Desk. And it is just up an incredible 29%. I can't believe it. I didn't quite get it at this level. I wish I got it right out of the gate. I didn't quite get it right out of the gate, but I had it pretty much within the first 5 minutes. So I definitely went up the Trade Desk. And I've talked about this one before. So a lot of people know that about the Trade Desk, and it did split 10 for 1, and we did do a kind of a split special on that, and then I haven't really owned it since, but right now, anyways, it's moving very, very nicely. Wanted to show you the bear put spread that I put out there on Zillow. Now it's been moving down a little bit. Zillow has popped up, and I hope this is a dead cat bounce. The closing price for Zillow was $67.75, and if you've been following this bear spread, you'll know that the value of this is approximately $6 right now. So it did move down a little bit. We were at 20, it moved to 6. So hopefully this will change direction. We'll continue the downward course. I do believe there's a very high likelihood that by January, this will be trading in the $60 range based on everything that I've seen on this particular stock. But this is the result of the bear put spread that I have on Zillow. I'm going to try to add some more trades hopefully this week, and I hope everyone is doing great. So without further ado, let's get into some of the questions that everyone has. And thank you very much for hanging on. And let's see the first question. What's your thought on a Tesla purchase? Well, I've been purchasing Tesla today, believe it or not. I did, and I rarely do this. I rarely buy on I barely buy on dips, but I think with Tesla that this is kind of, now of course everybody will tell you it's different this time. It's never different this time, but I do think Tesla sort of is in an interesting, very unique position. So, you know, time will tell if that's right. But we did have, you know, and we are bouncing after hours. So I kind of want to show you the chart on Tesla. Oops, let's get that up here. And this is the chart on Tesla. We are kind of, you know, it pulled back. It closed at 1165, 62, and it seems to be kind of getting some support there. Let's take a look at the five. No, I look at the 1 minute chart, kind of to see how it closed. It on the announcement, it sort of moved down, and then it did get some support right about 1160. The real support, I believe, for Tesla is right about here at 1150. So if you did go in with a Tesla purchase at this level, you know, I think you'd be fine. I really do. Now I wouldn't take a, you know, loss, you know, any losses on it, but this is not necessarily out of the ordinary here, because as you can see, it came down and it bounced right at the 10-day line, which is actually a test of the 10-day line. So I see that as being very constructive. So we shall see how it opens up tomorrow. But I do kind of expect it to get some support here. I could be wrong, but I have my stop set down here. The stop currently. Oops. Let's see if I can bring that up. Oh, let's see if it'll let me do it. The stop the where I have set the um, you know the alert is at 1080. So that's kind of where I have my stop loss there. So, but it did bounce off the 10-day line. So, depending on how, you know, when you got into Tesla, you know, and again, I started buying it back when it basically moved above the reversal line, and I kind of rode it up. I didn't have a large position here, but as it moved up, I added. So my average cost is pretty good on that. So I definitely think, you know, if you're looking for a first entry here, it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit extended. But the problem with a lot of these stocks, especially like Tesla, is that once they start going, you don't get a whole lot of chance for them. So, you know, I wouldn't go big here, but I would probably possibly consider one position. And what do I mean by one position? Well, a position is basically 1/8 of the size of your portfolio. So if the size of your portfolio is, let's say, $8,000, if you divide that by 8, you're going to get 1,000, and that's the amount of stock that you want to buy. So in the case of Tesla, that would be basically one share. If you had a portfolio size of about $8,000, it would be about one share. So that's kind of gives you an idea. I wouldn't go in probably with any more than one position at the current time, just because, you know, I think that would be a little bit too much. Let's see. What about Google? Hold it yourself. Well, you know, of course, it always depends. You know, uh, on what, you know, on where you bought it. I mean, that's always the you know, that's always the caveat. It's where you bought the stock. So with Google, depends on if you bought it at the buy point, which is 29.25. That's right here. Then you're looking pretty good. I mean, you're right. We're right in a buy zone right now for Google. So actually, this is not a bad place to buy Google. It's not a bad place to buy Google. It came through earnings, and let's just take a look at the fundamentals here. By the way, what I'm doing here is this is called fundamental analysis, and what I'm doing is I'm looking at the I'm looking at the um, I'm looking at this little area down here, and this is the sales and sales and profits. Last quarter, the sales were up a very nice 41%. Profits were up 82%. So, you know, even with all of what's going on, Google is a money machine. It just keeps going up. Um, but it's a long-term leader, so I don't think that, I don't think you'd have a problem here buying, buying at these levels. Any stock that can basically go up over 20% a quarter, boy, that's a good stock. And Google definitely is in that category. It definitely, Google definitely is in the category of that stock. So right now, Google is in a buy zone. So here's what I would recommend with Google. If you don't have it already, this is a place that you could enter Google. So, um, you know, Google right now is in a buy zone. So uh, you know, that is a good, that's a good place that's a good place to go into the stock. I mean, the fact is that you don't get that many chances with a stock like this because when it moves up above this, it even though it's going up, it's extended, so it can pull back. But the way a stock typically moves is it moves in these little steps. And as you can see, that's the case here. It kind of steps up, and then it steps up, and then now we have a step up. So now that it's moved above that very critical buy point, that 29.25 buy point, we are currently right now in this buy zone, and it's about there. So it's about the pivot, 29 to 25, up about 5%. Now you can buy it a little bit higher than that, so that's kind of why I drew it like this, because you can buy it a little bit higher than this. But what this is that every time the stock will move up, it will rest, and when it comes out of these resting places and it moves to the higher level, that's where you want to buy it. So Google right now is, it's looking very, very good, and it's definitely at a good potential buy point. So great question on Google, and you definitely, I would hold it. If I had it, I'd hold it, and I might even add to my position here with Google. It's looking very good. It's going to have support at that buy point, 29.25, and it looks like it's probably going higher. So very, very nice, very, very nice stock there. And I can't say anything really bad about Google at all. Just a tremendous stock. Now, PayPal, unfortunately, is a little bit of a different story, as you probably know. PayPal has been moving sort of lower, and that's problematic. As you can see, we're below this very critical. We're below this line here. This is the reversal line, and we're also below this black line here. That is the 200-day moving average. Unfortunately, the trend right now for PayPal is downward. That's just not looking very, very good, unfortunately. It's one of my favorite stocks, but it just is not viable right now. The checklist is only 44. So, it is, and it's coming into earnings basically. It's going to have earnings tonight. I don't know what it's going to be, how it's going to trade after hours. It seems like it's pretty steady. I don't know if they've made their announcement yet. This might be the beginning of a reversal, but I just wouldn't buy it right now. Wait for it to reverse higher. That's really kind of what you got to do. That's really what you got to do right now. You've got to wait for PayPal to move above the 200-day moving average, and that's really kind of what you got to do. With PayPal, it's not really viable at this level. It just it just really isn't. It just really isn't viable. So, the thing to do is to wait for PayPal and possibly buy it. Here's what I would recommend. If it can somehow move above about this 260 level, then we could possibly buy it. But right now, you just got to watch list this stock. You can't really buy it, unfortunately. It's just not in a good. It's not in a good position, and so I would just wait on it. Unfortunately, I would just wait on PayPal. Kind of discouraging. Kind of discouraging. Um, let's look at Roblox though. RBLX and see kind of what we're doing there. Yeah, same problem with Roblox. Just I haven't been in this for a while. It's below that very critical reversal line that I just reactivated there. You see, that's the that's the line right there. So, and it's just it's not looking good. So here's the thing with Roblox. I think with Roblox you just have to, um, you just have to wait to wait on that. You just have to wait on Roblox. It's just yeah, it's just something that I would watch list RBLX now. Don't buy it. So that's kind of my take on it. I would definitely watch list Roblox for now, and just not a buy. It's just not a buy right now, unfortunately. All right, let's get to some of the TikTok questions. Thank you very much, everybody, for holding on here. Da, da, da. Okay. All right. Invite another. Here's okay. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you very much. Fuel cell done running probably. Tesla. Okay, we covered Tesla. How about Tesla? I think it's going to get some support at about the 1150 level. That's my guess. Shared the live video. Okay, cool. Fuel cell. Okay, let's look at. Okay, and oops. Let's see. Are you in the World Trade? Yeah. Well, no, I'm not in the World Trade Center. I'm actually up on Preston Road, by the way. And that's actually it's a good idea to be in the World Trade Center here in Dallas. That would be great. I may call them up because that would be a very cool place to have a little studio for Dallas Trading Floor. That would be a great. That's a very 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 good idea. I really appreciate that idea. And I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that idea up. That is a fantastic. That's a fantastic idea. That's a fantastic idea. Okay, let's look at. Thank you very much. By the way, happy Monday to you. Let's look at AMD, and I do have some AMD. Fortunately, didn't miss out on that boat. I was sometimes I do. I'm looking, and the chart looks right, and I don't have enough room, or I did have to make a little bit of more room in my portfolio. I sold Sentinel One, which is not a bad stock. It's just I wanted more. I wanted more room for AMD, so I did that today. AMD is just stellar. I mean, after hours, it's up even after hours, which is absolutely amazing. Don't know what's going to happen. I definitely think we're going to readjust here probably tomorrow. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw this trend line here. I do think there's a very high likelihood that we're gonna move back down to about 142 tomorrow. That's kind of my guess based on this trend. Now, see, that's what happens when a stock moves up like that. It just can't maintain the angle of ascent. So I do think we're going to get a pullback here, but we're probably likely to get a support at about 142 tomorrow. So this might not be it's probably a little bit extended to buy there. I'm going to probably put in a stop loss tonight, just so that just so that I keep some of my winnings here, because I do think we're going to get a pullback to about 142. I'd like to sell it and then possibly rebuy it. I still think it's on the upward trend. I'm not saying that it isn't, but I definitely think we're going to get a little bit of a pullback, probably to about 142. So I'm going to put my stop loss probably at about 148. Basically on what I have. So basically the thing on AMD, for AMD, expect a pullback to about 142 tomorrow. Now, I mean, obviously, nobody can actually predict the future. That's for sure. But that's kind of where I do think we're gonna get the pullback, and the reason is because no stock will go up in a straight line; it just won't go vertical like this. This is what they climax top. It's not going to necessarily collapse, but with a climax top, it goes up too steep an angle, it will readjust and then it will continue its movement upwards. So I would be a little bit careful here tomorrow. Expect a pullback. I'm kind of expecting support at about uh, 142. That's kind of the level that that's kind of the level that I see it at. You know that I see it at. Um, so I do think that 142 is the likely support level for AMD tomorrow, and that's kind of how I see it. Um, because I do expect a pullback, and I do think we'll get support right about that 142 level. So okay, let's go to the next question. Thank you very, very much for that. Hey, Matt, how are you? EXPE. Let's look at EXPE and see what they're saying on EXPE. Expedia. And I do like the Expedia. I use them as a travel service as well, so I think they're a great company. Definitely a very nice, just a nice real gap up here today. Um, they had superb earnings. This may be kind of the first to come out of the COVID, you know, the COVID problems. Would be Expedia. If you look here, we've got you know their sales were up 240 272. Sales are up 97. So we're definitely starting to come back to profitability. This is the first profitable quarter that they just announced. So and they are a leader. So it is right at the right above the pivot, which is at 187. So this is potentially viable. 88 checklist. So this is definitely viable at this point. I'd like to see how it trades tomorrow, but definitely definitely viable at this level. So EXPE Expedia, oops, EXPE is viable now at this level. So it really definitely is viable just based on the chart. Um, you could definitely buy it here. This is not a bad buy point. This is not a bad buy point because we're right at the cup. Now, if we weren't in such a strong uptrend, I would say wait on this one. But because we are in this uptrend, I think that you can buy it out of a cup base at the pivot. And so that is, and so it's looking very, very good, very, very strong for, for Expedia. Oops, there we go. Yeah, I'm just making a little bit of room here in my system. My banners, there we go. So let's go to the next question. Thank you very much for that question on Expedia. Hello, all. Hey, Mark. I hope you had a very nice weekend. I know I did. All right. We did PayPal a little bit before. I just don't think you can buy that one right now. Just not in a good place. Roblox is up. Let's look at BGFV options. I called up. Okay. Did it? Oh, can you take? Okay. About that. Apps. Okay. The Digital Turbine. This is also a cool one. Take a look. I haven't been following this one. It looks like it tested. Yeah, it definitely did. It tested um, the 200-day line. So let's zoom in a little bit on that one. I don't think I can. Here we go. All right, I did the wrong one there. There we go. If I can zoom it in a little bit, take a look at apps. Oops, I zoomed in a little bit too much. What I'm trying to do here is to just give you so you can see kind of the action on this here. And basically, the situation is on earnings, and this is why I don't like to typically hold into earnings unless I have a 10% cushion because of this kind of action. We had great earnings here, but it fell right down to the 200-day line. So right now it's at the 200-day line. It may bounce here. It's kind of looking like it's going to because it's got some strength, 72, 90, 95. If you're going to buy Digital Turbo, this would not be a bad place to get in. It's not a classic entry point, but I definitely think we've got support at the 200-day line, which is key. And I just think we're probably going to go higher with this. The results have just been stellar. I mean, look at these sales. Just they're moving up tremendously. And this is fundamental analysis. This isn't technical analysis, but on the technicals, we have, and this is a very good sign. We have and I'm looking at the weekly chart here. We have the 50-day moving average coming above the 200-day. That's very bullish. That is what they call the golden cross. So apps, and I'm going to mark this down on my list, but I definitely think apps is a potential buy at this level. It's looking very strong, and I'm just going to put that down on my list of potential buys because this would be a very good place to buy it, Samuel. I think you've picked out a really really good one. It's a strong company, of course, and a lot of people follow it. I definitely follow it. And a great place to buy apps right there. Oh, Ford's and AMD. As everybody knows, that's been watching. I have a fair amount of Ford. I've been bulking up on it. I was last week. Ford seems to. I don't know why this is true. It's so strange. It's so hard to know what's the right thing to do. But Ford, as you can see, this is a weekly chart. Now I'm showing you not the daily, but the weekly chart here. We've had all this power as it's come above the buy point here, and this is just a very very powerful pattern. Even though their earnings were down, it looks like Ford, and on the fundamentals, and I'm talking fundamentals now, it looks like it's going to get some tremendous orders for its trucks, for its delivery vans, its electric transit vans. So the story for Ford seems to be much better right now than for GM, and of course Tesla is doing well as well. So I have two car companies right now, Ford and Tesla. I don't have any of the other ones, but Ford is just continuing to do well. Let's look at the after hours. Yeah, as you can see, this was where my buy point, my original position was below was at the reversal line. Then I came back in at the right above the buy point, and now it's continuing to move up, and it's actually moving up after hours, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, the volume today was huge. It was double the normal volume, so there's just been a lot of interest in Ford. So, can you buy it at this point? That's the question. It's extended, unfortunately. So right now, it's really past a place that you could probably comfortably buy it. That's not to say that you couldn't that you couldn't buy it, but right now, um, Ford is extended. So, and that does pose that poses a bit of a problem. The fact that it is extended. Um, but I still think that you want to watch this one. This is, I think, going forward, Ford could be very surprising because here's one of the reasons why I'm so bullish on Ford. Has nothing to do with the fundamentals, but it has to do with this chart here. This is the monthly chart, and as you can see on a share adjusted basis, currently, Ford has just made an all time high. And you say, wow, well, Ford, $18, that doesn't sound like a lot. Well, this Ford has split many times. This is the monthly chart that I'm showing you here. And the deal here is that Ford, you know, hasn't been this high since back in 2013, which is basically the kind of the 2012, 2013 was the year that we sort of came out of the last recession. So interestingly enough, this this is doing very, very well. It's at an all-time high. So, I'm very, very bullish right now on Ford. It's got a 67 checklist. It seems to be firing on all cylinders. I can't really explain it, but it is definitely doing it from a technical standpoint. It is doing extremely well. So, just really, really good. Now we did cover AMD, so I'm probably not going to cover that again. But AMD is just incredible, of course. And if you've been following me, you know that I started coming into that stock on Monday, which kind of the chart started looking very, very good on it. All right, let's look at. Oh, okay. So we have two XLU and XL. Okay, so let's look at XLU. This is an ETF. Of course, this is a Spider Select XLU, and I think this is the utilities. Yeah, it's the utilities. Not a particularly exciting area of the market. The thing about utilities are I'm not, it we are going to have this winter. We're going to definitely have a squeeze in natural gas. There's no question about it. But I'm not sure that utilities are the way to play it. That's just my opinion, of course. There is a 67.84 buy point on it. Now, of course, this is an ETF. This is not a stock. This holds a basket of utilities. But regulated industries typically tend to move a little bit slower than other industries just because they're regulated. So I'm not really all that bullish on it. It's got a relative strength of 35. I just think that there's better ways to go. Let's see if we can find something in a utility. Maybe let's just look at the sectors of the economy to see kind of where there's opportunity, and that's so key. Right now, there's 197 different subdivisions of the stock market, and we want to kind of look at see what is doing the absolute best. And right now, for the for the fifth month I think in a row, it's been coal. If you could believe that. It's just 6 months ago it was 69. It's now one. There's just a lot of investment in coal. The problem with coal is there's only 6 companies that are public in here, and it's relatively thin. So I don't really like this area as much. Now, an area that I really, really do like that there's a lot of investment going into right now is the semiconductor fabless area. This is where AMD is, and this is why I shifted some of my plays to this area. First of all, there's a lot of companies in this, and look at the relative strength of this sector, 99. And look at this chart. This is an incredible chart. It just goes up almost every day. Isn't that amazing? And so basically, what we have to look at here, I think, is the plays that are in semiconductor fabless. And so let's look at the top stocks currently. Currently, the top stock is AMD, and of course, I do own this one. Um, this one also went up tremendously. It's Alpha and Omega. This is a Chinese company, not a particular. I don't own it, but interesting company nevertheless. Umbrella. This is another very interesting company. I don't own this one, but I'm looking to get into it. Also, we have Nvidia. Now, currently, I don't have any Nvidia. I sold my Nvidia and moved it to AMD. I don't know. I may be looking at Umbrella though. This is one of the ones I'm very, very interested in. This unfortunately does not have a good place to get in. As you can see, it's just been going straight up. And this one is a tough one to get in. I definitely want to find. I want to find at least one stock in this area that is viable. Right now, we just don't. I don't see it. I don't see. Um, very many places to get in to electric semiconductor fabless. The last, of course, there was AMD, and that worked out well, but it's just been a tough one because there's not that many setups right now because it has been just so powerful. So I'm going to take a look to see if I can look at all the stocks in the group and see if there's any ones that I think might be candidates. Um, now, let's see. From what I know, Lattice Semiconductor. I always like to look at them. No, just is not work. Yeah, just not a good entry point. This is the problem. Great area. Max Linear. No, not an entry there. Um, of course, we looked at Aberrant Silicon Labs. That's extended too. Wow. Just everything is just really extended. Let's look at Nvidia. I know that's extended. Yeah, it's way extended. Um, boy, if there's one that I need to find, it's something that in here. Let's see with Siva. This is interesting. I don't. This looks more. It's got your earnings in one day, so I can do it. I'm just trying to find a one that would be potentially a monolithic. I like monolithic. Yeah, it's extended. So this is a great area, Mark, but unfortunately, it's such that there's not a lot of good opportunities because they're all moved to higher. So that's where I was looking. That's why I went into AMD, but it's extended. So that's not the greatest. Let's look at DCPH. DCPH. Okay, pharma. Okay, not my expertise. There's one area that I have to admit that I am terrible at is pharma and biotech. There's a lot of companies in this, and I just it's very it's these are very binary stocks. If they get approval for a drug, they go crazy. If not, they don't. So it's a tough area. I don't like I don't like this chart though. I'll be honest. Let's go to the weekly. It's yeah. Look at this. Yeah, this is way too busy of a chart. This has fallen way off. Something's going on with this company. I would steer clear of this. Yeah, I would steer clear of this. It's got a relative strength of one. So I just don't think you can buy this one. This does not look a like a very good option here. Um, it just doesn't look like a very good option. So I would avoid this one. I just think you want to avoid it. It's not really that good. It's just in a downward trend. So and it's below the 200-day line. So just not a good stock to buy. I mean that's just all there is to it. Just not a very good stock, unfortunately. Okay, Mark is asking again about ADSK. Let's look at ADSK. See if there's anything there. Okay, computer. Okay, manufacturing. I like that area. I like the area. Now we're talking. This is a lot better chart, by the way, Mark. Thanks for bringing this up. We have a buy point 344.39. It's moved. It, there's sort of a reversal. It's definitely moved above that. That would be kind of what you would consider the reversal there. 197. Okay, so the question is, can you buy it here? Wow, I don't know. This is interesting. 67 checklist. It's okay. Let's look at the group. There's a 22. Wow, that's really good. Computer software design. Let's look at some of the peers of this company. I always like to look at peers when I'm looking at a stock because that way. Oops, that's a financial specialty. Let's go back. We had it. It's ADSK. Let's go back to ADSK and see. Oh, Autodesk. Yeah. Autodesk is a quality company. Absolutely quality company. There's no question about it. The question is, can you buy it here? Yes, you can. This is a long-term leader. This company has been good for years and years and years and years. Yeah, this is really good. Has it gone through earnings? Let's see. No, I don't think it has. I think it's no, it's come through earnings. Yeah, this is viable. Absolutely, it's a base on base foundation. It's a base on base formation. So I have to say, you know, I I have to say on this one, this is totally viable. Viable at this level. So, Autodesk, it's a great company, but it's also in a pretty good chart pattern. So it's a base on base. It's got one, two, three, four bases. That's really nice. It's definitely going to looks like it's going to move higher, and it's not. There's no earnings risk on it. So wow, that's looking very good. No earnings risk for till the next earnings call, which will be on the 24th. Okay, so we've got 20. We have about 3 weeks here. So definitely you could buy it here. Yeah, you could definitely buy it here. So great, you know, great stock. Great stock. Cadence. I mean, this isn't Cadence. This is Autodesk. Very, very, very good stock. So definitely like it. Definitely like it at the level that it's at. Let's look for MB at DCPH. Let's take a look. Although we looked at that one, yeah, that's the one we're gonna have to avoid. I'm sorry, I redid that. I didn't. Should have been. We definitely. Nope, it's not viable. This is absolutely. Oops. Let me get that off the screen as quick as I can. Yeah, no, this is not viable. This is not viable. So I shouldn't have shown you that. This stock is not viable. I would not buy this one at this level, at any level actually. This is not viable. This stock. Uh, DCPH, you don't want to buy this one. Just not a good stock. Not a good stock. Let's take another gander at TikTok. Thank you very much. What about Nvidia? Let's take a look at it. Oh, let's do this one. This is a part of the infrastructure deal. This is ChargePoint and Blink Charging. These are the two charging companies. Let's look at ChargePoint, CHPT, and it's starting to make a move. So this is good. This one might have done a reversal. Boy, that would be nice. I've been waiting on this one a long time. We're still not reversed above the we're still not reversed above the reversal line. So really, it's got to move above about 28 in order to be viable. But it's starting to get there, and it's looking like it's starting to make a move. 67 is a minimum on the checklist. Um, the industry is doing good as well. I want to look at Blink Charging. Now, ChargePoint is the bigger of the two. ChargePoint is the bigger of the two companies. But let's look at Blink, BLNK. See if that is This is the better choice right here. If you want to be in this space, this is the one you want. This is reversed, and it's moved above the and it's moved above the the um, the 50-day moving average. Let me go to the weekly chart. I want to take a look at this one. Yeah, this is starting to get viable here. I think this one might, this one might pop very nicely. We had, earnings are in 3 days, so I wouldn't buy this until we go through earnings. But here's my advice for what it's worth, and it's not worth a lot. Um, and that would be to, wait for earnings on BLNK. Then it is a possible buy. So I would really be, I was trading this one last summer, and it did pretty well on it. But I think you got to wait. I got to wait for earnings because earnings are in 3 days here. So with Blink Charging, so you got to wait for 3 days. But it's looking good. It's pulled above that 200-day line, which is a good thing, and we have a lot of volume. So all in all, it's looking fairly strong. and I think that we could possibly, you could possibly do something there with Blink charging. So that's looking pretty darn good. ChargePoint, not so much, but Blink charging definitely in a much better position. By the way, if you're looking at me on TikTok, super duper easy to get on the action trade alerts. Just go to my profile, click on the link, first and last name, and an email address. We'll get you signed up for the free action trade alerts on Dallas Trading Floor. Also, if you want to see all of the charts and everything that I'm showing, I can't show them directly on TikTok just because of technical limitations. But if you go to this link bit.ly/DTF412, that's the show today, and once it's over with, you'll be able to see, no, you'll be able to see the repeat of it as well. So that's out there as well. Let's get back to the questions. And let's see, Coinbase, very interesting. Now, I haven't been on this one since the first day. I was actually on this on the first day. I did sell it as it came out of the gate. Coinbase making a nice move. There's been a lot of action in, Ethereum has made a new high. So that's something that I've been looking at closely. Don't have any Ethereum right now, but I'm considering it. I'm considering it because I do think that it possibly could go as high as 10,000 in a year, but we're not there yet with on Ethereum. But Ethereum looks like it's very good, and it does have some advantages actually over Bitcoin, believe it or not. Anyways, Coinbase is probably going to benefit either way because they're the leading custodial company, I think, for coins. But I wouldn't buy it here. It's a 1 day in front of earnings. Just don't want to do that. It's always a little bit dangerous to do that. Got a nice checklist, 78. It seems to be, doing quite well. I mean, on the weekly chart, it's got a decent chart. I mean, we're almost up to where it topped out. When it came out of the gates, I was basically buying it there, and I held it, and then I pushed my stop loss up, and as it pulled back, that's where I was taken out. But we're starting to get to a good level where it might possibly be viable. And so definitely if it hits, it goes to 400, it's probably going to be viable. This is a nice volume where we have decreasing volume in selling. So that's very good. But the most important thing, you don't want to buy it today because we're going to have earnings in 1 day. So we want to wait for it to come through earnings. But this one possibly could be a buy on Wednesday. Just depending on how well it does tomorrow in terms of its in terms how it goes through earnings. The earnings look very strong on Coinbase, so I wouldn't buy it today. I don't like to buy anything into earnings. It's just a little bit too much risk. But after earnings, especially after earnings, that can be a great place to buy. That's where I bought the trade test TTD today. Is right after earnings. We had some great earnings and it moved up very, very nicely. Let me show you the chart on that one, TTD. And of course, this is right at the buy point. I did buy this one today. Yeah, we moved up. We had very good earnings. We moved up very nice to the buy point. We're pulling back a little bit. I'll probably I may adjust my stop here tonight based on this. But we had a beautiful run up here. Up 29%, almost 30% in 1 day, which is kind of amazing, with very, very heavy volume. That could be the case for Coinbase on Wednesday. Just don't know, but it's definitely looking very strong. So that one, COIN, you want to put that on your watch list definitely. Okay, Roblox over $100 this week. Let's take a record Roblox Rblx. It's hard to call these, but sometimes I don't think so. I don't think I don't. Yeah, this one's really interesting. I mean, it just zoomed up. It's just zoomed up. We had earnings, and it's just going nuts. Look at that. It's going nuts. It's going nuts. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing how, I don't know, but Roblox is good cock. They had blowout earnings, and even though their sales were down, even though the profits are down, their sales are up. It's just, look at that, 99. So this is going to open up probably too high tomorrow. unfortunately, because it looks like it's going to go through a higher high. That would be great if it did. That would be great if it did, and I think it's very very likely. So, Roblox, very interesting company. Unfortunately, I don't have any shares right now. I need to get, I need to get some shares. All right, let's take a look at Apple. Apple's consolidating, and it's funny. Apple. I wish I was more bullish in the short term on Apple. Long term, I'm Apple bullish. I really am because it's a great company. But short term, it's had these problems. Fortunately, it's right now it's at 150. 150 is a very key level for Apple, and if it can move beyond that, and it looks like it may, then I think we can continue its road, its movement up. We touched the 10-day moving average. So actually, if you're looking to buy it, this is not a bad place. This is not a bad place to buy it. I'm going to draw a little reversal line here. So here's what I would do tomorrow. If you want to get into Apple, this movement above this little line would probably be the place to go. So I'm just trying to give you a price. So if Apple moves above about 152 tomorrow, which it very well may, that would be actually a very good place to get into to Apple. But I want to see it move above that 152 because it's right below the pivot. So it needs to reverse its direction. Right now, it's a cup with handle and it's in the downward portion of the handle. So looking at this chart, it's very likely to go higher, but I typically think the correct entry is right about 152. That's right where it is. Now I currently don't have any, but boy, I like this stock, of course. And as you can see how many times I've bought it and sold it, I've done it a bunch of times. This is definitely definitely going higher. This has got one, two, three. This is the fourth base on base. So very powerful basing activity. It's pulled back to the 40-day line. It's now pulling back in a handle. So that's looking very, very good. I definitely think it can go higher. I mean, I'd like to buy it at about 152 or above. That would be an ideal place, I think. And say, Jim, why not buy it here? Well, I definitely think you can buy it here, but this has been this. If we've been watching Apple for a while, you know that 150 is kind of a resistance level. If you can get through this, hold this, I think it's going higher too. It's just amazing. I mean, it's just right now. It just seems like everything is moving very, very, very nice. Oh, look at this! Interesting. Roblox zoomed up by 100. Wow, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Um, you know what? You're right about that, Paulie. I think they will have better internet. I've definitely had problems here. I mean, with my location. It's Thank you for mentioning that because I have a friend down at the World Trade Center. I should call him up and see if I could broadcast from down there. That would be fantastic. That would be really, really great. All right. Hey, thank you. INVH. Let's look at INVH. It's probably the last one for today. INVH. Invitation Homes. Okay. This one might be problematic. And there's a reason this one might be problematic. Invitation Homes, as you probably know, is the largest owner of rental homes, single family homes in the United States. And they bought most of these during the last downturn in about 2008. Most of these homes, I believe, are owned in the state of Georgia. The thing about Invitation Homes is Zillow is having a little bit of trouble right now. I'd be a little bit careful with this one, buying Invitation Homes. I do think there's going to be a downturn yet, and you can see on the chart, and I kind of guessed it. There's going to be a downturn in home prices, and I think the Zillow is going to have a definite effect on this. I have been selling my REITs. I only have one REIT now, and that's IIPR, Innovative Industrial Properties. I did sell CubeSmart, which was my other REIT that I had. So I am not as much of a fan of REITs as some other people are. This is one of the best of the REITs, though, Invitation Homes, and it is right below a buy point. The buy point being 42.48. So I probably would not be a buyer of Invitation Homes. It's not a bad company. I just think that there's other better places in the market right now, especially in the semiconductor fabless. places to be in the market right now. Oil is still doing extremely well. I have Diamondback. It's the only oil company I still have, but they're all, there are probably a little bit better places in the market, though. 49 on 197 is not a bad thing. Well, let's take the last question. That's going to be Airbnb. I don't own Airbnb, but I've stayed at a lot of them. Um, I do like the idea. That's for sure. Little bit of a pullback on Airbnb. And I had a full position back here. I did sell it as it came up, but I did have a full position at 150, 157. I probably should have hung on longer to it. I did have a full position, but definitely readjusting to the $200 level, and it seems to get some support there. I don't know. I think as this is a leisure business, 89% checklist. It's still good. I can't say really anything that bad about Airbnb. I don't own it, but it does look very very good. Well, thank you everybody. Thank you so much for taking a look at my little show. And if you want to get on the action trail, it's super easy to do. All you have to do is go to www Dallas Trading Floor and first and last name. By the way, we also have a great Discord community where we trade. We analyze trades every day from the opening bell, and that's also available. Just go to Dallas Trading Floor and you'll see it. It's a link. It's a third link down, and you'll see that. So until tomorrow at 3:30 Central, I will see you, and happy trading, everybody. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. And thanks for